record. Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight for our introduction to essential oils. My name is Tracy Podolsky. Most of you know, all of you know me or have heard of me because I invited you to this class. So I'm going to be respectful of everyone's time. I'm going to try to go through really the basics. So an intro class is maybe if you've been exposed to oils. I use essential oils in my practice every day. So you may have been exposed to an essential oil already. You may have heard me talk about it, or you may be just on our Facebook group and follow Wyatt Rehabilitation and are curious about it. Regardless, I want everyone to know that if you haven't had an oil experience, usually before COVID, we were doing these classes in person. So right now I would be sharing an essential oil experience. So as you go through this class, I invite you to let me know if one of those oils that I either talk about, or maybe you haven't had an oil experience, I'm completely open to dropping a sample in the mail so that you can have an oil experience, because until you have that, you really don't get the effect of an online class. So that's the only downside to the online class, but there are super great things that are going on with online classes, like me just being able to schedule something and send a few texts or emails and saying, we're going to get together this night. And typically I do an intro class every month. So if you know someone who is interested in essential oils, I like to do at least one intro a month. And soon we will be doing more classes this month on reducing toxins from your environment, as well as stress management, because those two lifestyle areas are the most popular topic of conversation in my practice, as well as in my personal life. So I feel like it's important, and I want to share as much information as I can in this type of group setting. So tonight we're going to go over what are essential oils, how to use them, and some of the top 10 essential oils that doTERRA has. Okay, so moving on. Oops, there we go. So I wanted to give you a little glimpse of how I got into essential oils. 5 years ago, I would say, a conventional lymphedema therapist, which means I was treating a symptom. I was treating swelling. And that's what I did all of my career. Even in my physical therapy program, they taught conventional therapy. But then I was introduced to doTERRA, and I was asked by 3 different patients in the course of, I would say, a month, if I knew anything about essential oils and lymphedema. And I always take those little like droplets as a sign for 3 people to ask me in 1 month. I said, I have to look into this a little more. My husband is a real big researcher, health guru. So I went home that night and I said, do you know anything about essential oils? And he literally took a book from his nightstand, handed it to me, and all about essential oils. And I read it from front to back pretty much within a couple days. And then after that, I didn't realize, I thought they just made the room smell nice. I had a diffuser already from Christmas, but they have such therapeutic value. So I was immediately interested, but then I had to figure out what company to go to, what brand of essential oil was I going to use. So then I got into doTERRA, which doTERRA then introduced me to this wellness pyramid, which is basically looking at all different areas of your lifestyle and how you can individually adjust certain areas and fix symptoms that way. So, because you're getting to the root cause. And that's what led me to the Institute for Functional Medicine. And right now I'm studying under that, under the Institute for Functional Medicine, in order to become a certified functional practitioner. And my interests are really in the hormone imbalance. So I like to tell, as a lymphedema therapist, I like to say conventional therapy is still important, and most of our healthcare is conventional. So when you look at the functional medicine tree, you look at, most of us go to the doctor or your therapist and you have a sign and symptom. So if we take what my practice is, it's lymphedema, but you can look at this in any reason why you're going to the doctor. But I look at the sign and symptom, and for me, it's swelling. And you could get referred to all these different types of specialists and get all the different tests. And I would be up here, I would be going, you'd be coming to a certified lymphedema therapist, and I would treat you conventionally, which is basically treating the symptom and getting it under control, which is super important. So After I got introduced to doTERRA and the Institute for Functional Medicine is when I started to realize that I need to become more of a functional lymphedema therapist, because after you're in your garments and you're managing your lymphedema well, I started, I guess it was about 7 years ago, my first patient eliminated gluten out of her diet. And all of a sudden, she started having improvements in the limb that she was managing for years. So it really spiked my interest in what else can we do beyond the conventional program, which is very successful, and how we can work on lifestyle changes. Most of the time, I mean, there's so many causes for lymphedema, but most of the time we're looking at lowering inflammation or lowering the triggers that can make lymphedema worse. So that's kind of how the history of how I got into using not just essential oils, but looking into your lifestyle and not just looking at the limb that's swollen. Okay, so for whatever reason you are here tonight, I want you to look at their top 3 health concerns. So whether you have lymphedema or not, whether you're just following my Wyatt Rehab Facebook page and don't even know what lymphedema is, it's okay. This topic is just about essential oils, but you want to look at your top 3 health concerns. So that could be, and you want to think of it in terms of what do you want more of and what do you want less of? So you could say, I want less stress in my life. I want less bloating. I want more sleep. I want less pain. I want more energy. Okay. So I want you to be thinking of those things as we're going through the class. Oops. Okay. So let's talk about the 3 cool things about essential oils. Number 1, they're safe. Number 2, they're very effective. And number 3, they're affordable. So we're going to go through each of these. Safety. This is one of the biggest reasons I chose doTERRA. There are essential oils, true, pure essential oils are 100% natural and safe. So you don't get side effects or addictions to them like our counterparts in the pharmaceutical industry. When we think of herbs, most of us know herbs, like even peppermint tea. You can think about, having a cup of peppermint tea, but a drop of peppermint essential oil is 50 to 70 times more powerful. So you would have to drink about 26 cups of peppermint tea to get the therapeutic value of just using 1 drop of peppermint oil in like a cup of hot water. Okay, so that's how potent they are. They are extracts from plants. So they come either from the leaf of a plant, the bark of a tree, the petal of a flower, the rind of the fruit. So like lemon essential oil. And with doTERRA, they set the bar because unfortunately FDA does not regulate supplements and essential oils. So doTERRA's founders in 2008 said, we are going to make our own standards. So they call their oils CPTG, which is called Certified Pure Tested Grade Oils. So they test every single batch of essential oil before it gets to the consumer over 52 times in different ways. And the beauty that I really love about doTERRA is that they publish those online. So I can take any bottle of essential oil that I have here and go to a certain website, which I'll show you in a minute, and put in the SKU on the bottom of the bottle and look at the results of this bottle of lavender essential oil. So when we look at peppermint, I'm going to touch on essential oils and what their main uses are for, but they are so versatile. Peppermint is one of the most versatile oils. You can look at it to give yourself some energy. So I like using it at the end of a workday before I go home and, get into my mom mode. And instead of having caffeine, I could just get that burst of peppermint essential oil to be more energizing. It also promotes clear breathing. It cools the body. This is a really great one to use in the summertime. If you are using compression garments, just 1 drop of peppermint oil in the back of your neck can cool your whole body. And it also relieves head tension. Putting a little bit on your temples can relieve head tension or any type of muscle or joint ache. So just 1 drop can do all of those sorts of things. When you look at oils, you're not just looking at it for one thing. You really can just have a group of essential oils and use them for so many different things. So what's important, and what I learned in the beginning when I was researching it about 5 years ago, is that not all essential oils are created equal. So you basically can get essential oils anywhere, maybe even at the gas station at this point. But you want to be very understanding of whatever brand you do choose to go with, is that they say 85% of essential oils on the market are synthetic essential oils. And what does that mean? They're not meant to be used for your health. So synthetic is maybe when you're looking in Target and you're buying like a candle, or you're looking at an air freshener and it says lemon essential oil. That's not a therapeutic way to boost your health. That is a synthetic form. There also are bottles of essential oil that are sold on the shelves. And a good indicator is, for example, lemon essential oil. You should be able to use it in all three ways: aromatic, topical, and internal. And we're going to go over that in a second. But when you look at a synthetic essential oil, you will not be able to ingest lemon. You will not be able to even put it on your skin. And that's because they can put synthetic fillers in the bottle of oil, because again, FDA doesn't regulate it. So you have to go with a company that you can trust. So what I loved about doTERRA is this website down here, sourcetoyou.com, will actually bring you beautifully. Their website is beautifully done from the growers that are all over the country. It's another reason why I chose doTERRA, is that they pull the plants from the experienced farmers in the indigenous land. So we distill lavender in Bulgaria and France. So we're looking at where are we going to get the best potency of the plant, where the plant is indigenous to that environment. So you're going to look at it from the growers to the distillers to the scientists, then to the practitioners, and then essentially to you. I loved that doTERRA partners with universities and hospitals all across the globe and are doing so much research, to the point where just this last September, our lavender essential oil is now known as pharmaceutical grade, which no other essential oil can be termed that, because when you look at pharmaceutical grade, there are so many tests, and for a longevity of time, 5 to 10 years, where you can't have a lot of variability in the product. So that was a big step for doTERRA, and they're going to go through all those tests with every single oil that they produce. So you can see, bringing this into not only my family's life, but also to my practice, I wanted to make sure that this was the best, purest, and most quality essential oil. So knowing that, this is why every day, pretty much, I'm still amazed at how effective essential oils can be. And the reason why they're effective is because they do permeate the cell membrane. So when you're using them, no matter how you're using them, they will go through the membrane of the cell. Some of them even go through the blood-brain barrier, which means it can interact with the cell. It doesn't just force or block a receptor like a lot of the pharmaceutical drugs that we use do. So they can be really more effective than our modern approaches to our health problems. And we look at an essential oil blend like On Guard. On Guard is a combination of wild orange, eucalyptus, rosemary, clove, and cinnamon. Very highly antiviral. So this is one of the ones in my lymphedema starter kit, because we want to prevent infection. We want to keep the immune system working strong, because when you have lymphedema, you can be at risk for cellulitis and infections in the skin. So On Guard is a really great and pleasant aroma. It smells like fall, cinnamon, clove type. And it promotes that healthy immune function. This is the one I'm using on my kids, on myself, just a drop every single day. And let's say we went to the water park, a few months ago, or if you're going on a flight, or you may be using it more often. That's when I might pull out my On Guard and not just put it on once a day. Or maybe if you're under the weather, you're not feeling well, you may use it every couple hours. And the reason why is because oils work fast. When you smell an essential oil, it only takes 22 seconds to get to the amygdala part of your brain, which is where we house all of our emotions. So a lot of us have heard about aromatherapy. And that is a really great way to use essential oils because it's the quickest access to our brain chemistry. When you smell or apply or ingest an essential oil, it only takes 2 minutes where it will be found in the bloodstream. And then 20 minutes, it will affect every cell in the body. And then we look at affordability. This was huge for me in the beginning. And I wondered why you go to Walmart and every single essential oil, even frankincense, is $5. And then I started understanding and peeling away all the onion layers as to understanding why. And affordability in doTERRA is due to many different facets. But when you look at a bottle of lavender, because you're going to find a really big range in prices when you look at doTERRA essential oils. You can look at one that's $10 all the way up to rose, which is $275 a bottle. So very, very variable depending on the crop, because doTERRA is not going to over harvest a plant ever. They have such a philanthropic arm that's helping to preserve land and to give back to the farmers that are able to do this for us. So they will never over harvest just for profit. So when you look at rose, they are only going to make sure that they get enough rose where those rose plants are not dying because they're over harvested. So sometimes it's a supply and demand thing. It's also about how much you need to create one bottle. So lemon essential oil is one of the least expensive essential oils, or lemongrass and cypress. They're very plentiful and easy to grow and easy to, lemon is cold pressed, so it's very easy to obtain. But when you look at a bottle of lavender, it's small, but it has 250 drops in it. So a 15 milliliter bottle is $23. So if you look at using this, let's say for sleep, and you put it in your diffuser, and we're going to go over that in a second, but diffusing at night, you can use 2 to 3 drops of lavender essential oil and get a good night's sleep. How is that going to affect your health over time? And for me personally, I don't even go to the doctors anymore, where 5 years ago, we were getting strep throat every couple months. And so my kids were home. I was home. It was affecting my impact on my healthcare, as well as, how much work I missed. So we want to look at, affordability in all of those senses. And we look at lavender. Lavender can be very calming for the mind. It's a great one for patients with lymphedema because it calms any type of skin irritation. I like using it if someone gets a little itchy. It's one of the oils we use in our natural antihistamine blend. So now you've heard me talk a little bit about how to use it, but now I'm going to spend a little bit of time on detailing how to use them specifically. So there are 3 ways: aromatic, topical, and internal. So aromatic, if you can see my diffuser here, I have the pretty ones at work. So it's just a water-based diffuser. John, you can see this, right? Can you see this? Okay. So you have a water-based diffuser, you just fill it with water, and I just put 3 drops of lavender in here. And that's all you need. So now this is going to go on for the next 6 hours constantly. Most diffusers, and you can get diffusers anywhere, really. You don't have to get doTERRA doTERRA diffusers, but I will tell you, I've used many over the years, bought off Amazon, TJ Maxx, all these other places. You want to look for one that doesn't have a lot of nooks and crannies when you open it up, because you want to wipe it out and clean it out. And the other thing is you want durability. I have not yet in 5 years, even my first diffuser has not broken or had an issue, where all the other ones that I purchased, I don't even have anymore because they just stopped functioning, or they were just too hard to clean. So diffusing in a diffuser is so easy, and what most people start off with using essential oils. So I have a diffuser in every room. In my kids' room, they pick what oils work best for them. My room, and then I have one in the kitchen. So in the morning, I can diffuse like an orange or a mint oil, which is very uplifting and energizing. And then at night, we're typically transitioning into the calming oils like lavender or vetiver or Roman chamomile. So diffusing is such a great way to change mood. Okay, so if the household is having a hard time, if you're feeling down, I used aromatic essential oils all the time during COVID. And I just popped oils in the morning and popped them in at night. And it allowed me to keep the mood positive in such a negative time over these past 2 years. The other benefit is it cleans the air. If you put a couple drops of On Guard in there, you're cleaning. That's what I usually do for the office, because you're now cleansing the air that everyone breathes. And it also helps support the respiratory system. So if you're in the season of allergies and you're congested, you can diffuse essential oils like Breathe or lemon, lavender, and peppermint, which is the natural antihistamine. And you can be really keeping your airways clear overnight. The next way to use essential oils is topical. So topical is when you're applying it on your skin. So you can be using that in a topical fashion for two reasons. You can be using it because you want to apply it locally. Let's say you have a muscle pain or a joint ache. You can apply most of the essential oils neat, which means you can just apply them right on the skin. But some of them are tingly or hot, like oregano. Oregano is a hot oil. You should not put that on your skin without using this. Fractionated coconut oil is not an essential oil. It's called a carrier oil. So carrier oils are like fractionated coconut oil, or even any of your cooking oils like avocado oil, jojoba oil. Those help dilute the essential oil so that you can apply it onto your skin. Okay. So there is a little cheat sheet that I use. When you get your oils, you get this little cheat sheet that shows which ones you can apply without dilution, which ones are kind of in the middle. We call that sensitive. So if you have sensitive skin or you have a child that's using it, you want to dilute. And then there's some that are absolutely like oregano and cassia and cinnamon. They're hot oils and should not be applied without dilution. So that's when you would be using it locally. But another great way to use oils topically is on the bottoms of your feet or anywhere that you have pulse points. So your wrists, your neck, your heart, even your navel area. Those are the areas you're going to get a more systemic effect. So for example, going back to the On Guard, I like using On Guard on the bottoms of my feet every day because I'm going to get it into my whole entire system. It's not that my feet need it specifically, but that's a great way. The bottoms of our feet are the least sensitive, and you've got that reflexology on the bottom of your feet. So it's a very, very common way for people to use oils topically. The only safety precaution that we want to be careful of when using oils topically is that citrus oils, so wild orange, grapefruit, lemon, they're all photosensitive. So you wouldn't want to be putting wild orange on your face and then going out into the sun because you can get either a sensitivity or a rash or even a burn. So all citrus oils, that's your number one safety tip, is to be applied either under clothing or on the bottoms of your feet if you're going out into the sun, or you just use them at night. And then we move on to internal. So internal, you can use a few drops in water, but you must use, the safety tip with this is you must use glass, stainless steel, or like a ceramic mug. You cannot put oils in like a plastic pull-and spring bottle. And the reason is because they're so potent, they will start to degrade the plastic, and then you don't want to be drinking them. Okay. You can also put them in empty veggie caps to make your own supplements, or you can just put a drop under your tongue. Right before this, I put a drop of bergamot under my tongue. This is the oil of self-confidence. It always helps me present better. So I just put a little drop, one drop of bergamot under my tongue. And that's a really quick access for any oil that you're using internally. So if you always look at those three ways, and as I go through the essential oils next, you're going to see these three letters, and it shows you that that specific oil, and all of them can be used aromatically. And there's really not a safety feature for aromatic other than if you have pets You want to make sure that you start aromatic use with very few drops, like you might even do 1 to 2 drops to see how your pet responds. Remember, they have much higher olfactory receptors than we do. So we want to make sure, and we always want to keep the door open so that they can leave if they don't like what you're diffusing. So that's really the only safety tip for aromatic, but all of the oils will have either an A, a T, or an I after them. So let's kind of go through, and I'm going to be doing this like speed dating because I could talk about lemon for a half hour, but I'm going to just go through the main reasons why these oils are used. And these are the top 10 that we're going to start with. Lemon is the oil of like cleansing everything. You can cleanse the inside of your body, your countertops, the air, and it's also the oil of focus. So it's great if you're working on the computer all day, or if you have someone with homework. I love diffusing this throughout the day. Breathe is the respiratory blend. So you'll see on the blends, these are all of the single essential oils that make up the blend. But Breathe was my aha oil. This is what helped my son Cole, who had a lot of allergies and a lot of secondary effects from allergies. And we popped this in his diffuser, and we still do. We combine it with either On Guard or another one called Serenity every single night. This one is not meant to be ingested. So this one's only for aromatic or topical use, and it smells like the Vicks. Okay, so it smells, that eucalyptus and the peppermint just really come through. Frankincense is kind of the king of all oils. If you really had to just pick one oil, I would pick this one. It's used in all 3 ways, but it promotes healthy cell function. So if you have any type of big diagnosis, you want to be using frankincense. Because if you think about it, if your body's not working well, no matter what system we're talking about, and even aging, that's why frankincense is in a lot of these really pricey skincare products, because real frankincense will help promote the cells of the skin to work properly again. So that's why it's anti-aging. It really works within all of the cells. So in a way, that's what everyone could be using to help promote overall health. It's also very grounding. Any type of tree, this is coming from the frankincense tree, is very calming. So you can use this for, anxious feelings as well. These are my 2 powerhouse antifungal and antibacterial. So Melaleuca, or now we renamed it tea tree because everyone really knows tea tree, but it's from the Melaleuca tree. And tea tree is highly antifungal. So a lot of people use it in between, in between toes, in between fingers, or along the toenails or the fingernails, in crevices where you might not get a lot of air exchange and you might be at risk for fungal infection. I used to use it for my kids when they were on the karate mats, that kind of stuff, like in the shoes, putting a couple drops or making a spray for your shoes. Highly, highly antifungal. Also can be a great cleanser. Oregano is the antibacterial one. Very powerful. I only bring this one out when someone's not feeling well, because it's really strong, and I don't really care for the smell, but I do diffuse it, and it smells like a pizza shop in our home when people are under the weather. But oregano has a lot of great research on how it supports so many systems, like the immune system, the digestion, respiratory function, when used internally. Deep Blue is another essential oil blend that's only meant to be used aromatically or topically, and it's pretty much a physical therapist's dream, because we used to use things like Biofreeze, but Deep Blue not only helps with pain, it's very good to help heal either the tendons or the ligaments or the muscles or the joints, and it puts things back into homeostasis. It can also help ease head tension or any type of cramping. So we love the Deep Blue blend. It also comes in a bottle of lotion for easy application. Digestin can be used in all 3 ways. It relieves upset stomach, motion sickness, nausea. I love using it when I go out to eat. I'll put a drop under my tongue, or I'll just rub some over my belly, because it's a time that you need extra support. Most of the time, even if we're ingesting really good food, they might be using some inflammatory oils, which is why sometimes we don't feel so good afterwards. So a great one to use on the go for that. Copaiba. Copaiba is really probably my second most, if you had to choose two oils, I would go frankincense and copaiba. And copaiba is because it works on the endocannabinoid system. And what that system does is pretty much, it's the gateway to all the other systems in our body: cardiovascular, immune, digestive system. It supports your nervous system in a way of, if you suffer with anxiety or you have pain or discomfort, copaiba is going to directly affect the receptors of the endocannabinoid system. Something we're very familiar with and most people have heard of is CBD oil. CBD oil is also working on the endocannabinoid system, but indirectly. And we also have obviously the possible other effects, and you also want to look at quality, and all of those things come into play. It's not that CBD oil can't work, but I always say if you don't have success with CBD, try copaiba, but because it's working on the same type of system. But copaiba comes from the copaiba tree. So it doesn't come from the cannabis plant at all. So you have none of those THC side effects that you may be worried about. And then now this one is one of the first stress oils. There's so much that copaiba can do, but copaiba is also really great at managing stress. And that leads us into this next line, which is called adaptive. Adaptive is another one. If you suffer from a lot of things coming at you, like what did we all just go through in 2 years? This was one of my favorite blends, as well as the supplement to support your life when things are really going awry, right? So if you are having a lot of stressors at you at once, that's when I use the supplement. But on a daily basis, I like to diffuse adaptive in order to keep myself calm and grounded. And you could see what different essential oils are in that blend as well. And then lastly, for stress, these have been around forever, but we have our restful blend, Serenity, and our grounding blend, Balance. Those two together is what we call liquid calm. So you can use them in the diffuser together, in a roller ball together, and both of those are to be used aromatically or topically, but they're really great oils to lean on if you're suffering from problems with sleeping, or again, just an oil for stress. So many people say, when I ask, what are your top 3 health concerns? Less stress. And then I can't ever teach a class without talking about supplements. Again, 5 years ago, I never really took supplements. I only took supplements when the doctor told me when I was pregnant. But I learned that unless you are eating 100% organic, no processed, all whole foods, 100% of the time, we really should be leaning on a foundational supplement like Lifelong Vitality. This is such a popular product. It's the #1 product in the essential oil company. And the reason is because as people learn about essential oils and lifestyle and wellness, having a foundational supplement, whether you take a quarter dose or a full dose, depending on how you're eating, this can really make a big difference in a lot of your symptoms. For me, I didn't even know I had lack of energy. But when I took this 5 years ago, the biggest change I felt was I had more energy. And that is because of this one up here. Alpha CRS feeds your mitochondria. And without getting too scientific-y, basically, if you remember from science class, the mitochondria is the energy house of every single cell. And if we're not giving it whole foods, which mainly are fruits and vegetables, every single day, we don't feed our mitochondria, which is why a lot of us are tired. The other thing is we may not be feeding ourselves enough omega-3s. Omega-3s come from fish, they come from, avocados, nuts. But if we're not eating those in our diet, how are we going to have good brain health? Which for me, I don't eat a lot of fish. And my anxiety was the next thing that improved once I started taking this. So we look at the omega blend, and you even get a little bit of some of the immune oils in here as well. And then you have your food nutrient complex, which is basically a multivitamin. Okay, it's going to give you all the vitamins and minerals that you need foundationally. Now, if you have a vitamin D deficiency, like you don't have enough vitamin D, you might need to add on a vitamin D supplement. Think about lifelong vitality as giving you all that you need on a daily basis. Not that you can just go out and eat whatever you want, but it assures your body that you're giving it what it needs while you're working on lifestyle adjustments. So I would say right now I only take half a dose because 5 years later, I've cleaned up my diet so much. And so now my husband and I share 1 pack a month. And this has been like such a game changer for us. So let's move on to how you get oils. You learned a lot about what essential oils are, how to use them, a lot about the main essential oils that most people use that will address pretty much 85% of your health concerns in your home. And so there are 3 ways that you can purchase doTERRA essential oils. If you've come through my office and purchased an essential oil from my rack over here, you purchased it retail. That basically is not a way to purchase oils for the longevity of how you want to purchase doTERRA essential oils, because it's most expensive and it's really just to try an oil out. The best way to get your doTERRA essential oils is wholesale. So think about it like BJ's or Costco. You will get 25% below the retail. So you're going to have wholesale for the entire year. And you can choose to order the essential oils whenever you'd like. But the best way, and the way I get my essential oils, is I am on a program called Loyalty Rewards Program. And it's where I choose what products I want every month. And I always switch it up. You know, I'm not even getting essential oils now. I'm getting my supplements, or I'll get my laundry pods, or I'll get my hair care, or whatever I'm getting, and I get points back. So if you're a Kohl's shopper, it's really great because I'm already shopping at Kohl's, and now I get whatever it is, $10 to $30 that I can spend, right? So doTERRA rewards you when you purchase every month with 10 to 30% back in points. So now I get all my essential oils free because I'm getting all those supplements and things that I need around the house, like I would in Target, but it's clean, natural, potent essential oil product. And then I get points back. So when I run out of lavender, which you're not going to use up a bottle of lavender in 1 month. So when I get low in one of the oils, I use my points to redeem. So now let's get to what the big promotion was and why I'm getting a lot of questions, because I started putting together this lymphedema starter kit last week. So last week, they finally decided to make a customized enrollment kit. So prior to last week, I'm going to show you very quickly after this. doTERRA pre-selects groups of oils that are most popular, and you can get them at an even further discounted rate because they're put together as a kit. And then you don't have to pay a $35 membership fee that you get when you start your wholesale account. Well, last week they said, as long as you have an order of over 150 PV, okay, then you can customize your kit. So I said, perfect, because for so many years, I've been saying, well, get this kit so you don't have to pay for the membership fee, and then we'll get some of the oils after that, or add to your order. So what I did with my customized lymphedema starter kit over the years, these are the top ones that I've used. Lemongrass and cypress is what I use for my manual lymph drainage. Lemongrass boosts lymphatic activity. It's also natural bug repellent, so it's great for going into our summer months. And cypress is really great for edema control. So cypress is more for my lower extremity patients, but really anybody can use it because cypress helps vasoconstrict the blood vessels. So a lot of times with patients with swelling, and as we age, like I have venous insufficiency from my pregnancy. So my veins have dilated a little bit and may not pump the blood back up as well as it did before I was pregnant. So now I use cypress on my legs at the end of the day, and it just gives me that feeling of, not that heaviness feeling, which is the swelling that's accumulating throughout the day. And I also wear my compression socks. So I have lemongrass and cypress for edema control. Then you have tea tree, which is very popular for skin and nail care. Then you have On Guard. On Guard was the immune health one. Everyone should be boosting their immune system to prevent cellulitis or any type of infection or just sickness. Then you have Adaptive. You want one stress oil that's going to be great for not only yourself, but those around you. So Adaptive is one of my most popular stress oils. Then I put in hand and body lotion. If you're going through treatment here and you're getting those little jugs of lotion, that's what I'm putting in it, along with customizing your essential oil blend. Most of them have lemongrass and or cypress in them. And then the intro kit you get at a deal price because it's a kit, but you get lemon, lavender, and peppermint. And for patients with swelling, lemon is one. When you're working with the lymphatic system, you want to make sure that you are cleansing the toxins out of your body, because the whole role of the lymphatic system is to get rid of debris and garbage and all the gunk in our bodies. So lemon, I always recommend as the first one to put in your water. Hydration with lemon essential oil. Lavender is a great one for, like I said, any skin irritations, burns. I love putting this one in my kitchen. If you're the one that cooks in the house, you might want to have a little lavender there, especially if you have arm lymphedema, because you want to have that ability to not let your skin blister or burn. So I've burnt myself on the toaster oven, and if you got the lavender right there, you put it on, the pain goes away immediately and you don't have any blistering. So it's a way to prevent a real big problem if that's the area of your swelling. And then of course it's calming as well. And then peppermint, because of the summer months, but also a lot of my patients are going through cancer treatments and can get a lot of upset stomach or nausea or muscle tension or tightness. So again, peppermint is so versatile for all of those. So those are the top group of oils. But again, know that if you're interested in getting a wholesale account, we can customize this. You may say, Tracy, I already have peppermint, and I'll put my next one that was, on the list, but got cut, like copaiba. That was my next one. So you get the free membership. The cost of all of this together is $164, and it goes over that 150 PV mark. The oils that doTERRA put together, if you say, I want to look at these, you can always, I'm going to give you my website and you can go and look at these other grouped kits, but they literally just changed today. They finally put up the graphics. So these I threw on real quick. So I don't have prices on them, but you have the two main starter kits. These are all the small bottles, healthy start kit with a diffuser, as well as the home essentials kit. These are the bigger bottles and a diffuser. Okay, so those are those two. You have a healthy habits kit, which is for someone who might want to start changing their gut health and their foundational health. You've got all of the supplements plus the top 5 foundational essential oils. Then you got this is the biggest kit. This is the Natural Solutions kit. And it's got all the supplements, a lot of the On Guard products, a diffuser, a box. You got everything in there if you want to just go all in. Then you've got one that's called the Cura Collection. I've had a couple people get this one. This is fairly new. And this is if you want to replace your medicine cabinet. Pretty much, I don't buy any over-the-counter medication or anything like that because I only use my oils and or supplements. So for example, like here's your Vicks, here's your Neosporin, here's your the Tums. There's always a product that you can replace something in your medicine cabinet. So that's why they actually made this kit here. Then this one here are the top 10 blends for aromatic use. So if you want to just replace maybe air fresheners or candles in your house and you want your room to smell nice and you just want to make it simple and start with diffusing, you have this kit as well. And then another great way to start so that you avoid the $35 fee is that you start with the Simple Solutions kit. This one just has a few basic popular oils, but then you can add whatever you want. Like let's say you want to add lemongrass and cypress. That's another option. And then last but not least, they just launched this last week, the Aroma Touch technique. some of you may have had that from me. I am certified to do the aroma touch technique, and it's basically layering these 8 oils on the spine and on the feet in a sequence that we had to get certified for up until COVID. And again, I always look at what happened and what came from this pandemic. Well, nobody gets certified, and everyone was just doing the aroma touch technique on their family members. And I was doing this plus additional on my kids and on my husband and even on myself. Well, now they're selling the kit. So anybody can purchase this, but you'll also get the certification course. So you go through an online course and learn how to do it on your family, your friends. And you don't have to be a physical therapist or massage therapist. You don't have to have any hand skill. It's just basically a sequence of layering those essential oils. So let's kind of pull back and think about, I know I went through a lot, and that's just the basics, which is another reason I chose doTERRA. You don't ever want to purchase something like you might hear on the street, oh, lavender is good for sleep. And you go to the store, you buy lavender, and you don't really know how to use it, or maybe you don't read instructions, and then it just becomes shelf help. I promise you that once you get engaged in my doTERRA family, it's not just me you have a lot of different leaders that have different backgrounds and different strengths. And we all teach different classes, and you're all invited, and it's a continual journey. So you can put as much into this or as little into this as you'd like, but just know that you always have a wellness advocate like myself to turn to if you have questions or to learn as much. And I do a lot of teaching, so as much or as little as you'd like. So as we wrap up, I want you to think about those top 3 health concerns that you thought of in the beginning. And did I touch on any of those oils? And now you can, write them down, or maybe you took some notes. And here is my number where you can text me or call me, but I will get back to you quicker with text. And this is my website. So you can go on mydoterra.com/mythic health. And if you go under shop, kits, collections, and then enrollment kits, you will see all of those kits that I just showed you. Or you can, like I said, up until June 30th, but we're kind of praying that this becomes a forever thing, is that we can customize our own kit. And I like to always explain, I didn't understand what a direct sales company was, meaning why can't I get doTERRA on the shelves? There are 3 types of people in doTERRA. Everyone starts out as a customer. I started out as a customer. I have a wellness advocate, Dr. Lisa Sussman. She taught me how to use the essential oils. And then I just organically wanted to share them. So my whole family uses oils, my friends, I bring it into my practice. So I guess you could call me a sharer, because my main thing is treating lymphedema. But I just love that I can share this in my private practice and, on the soccer field or with friends. So you may find that, or even throughout this class, you might say, that could help my friend on the street, right? So when you share essential oils, you can either refer them to one of my classes, and I always give like a little thank you gift, or you can actually get your own products paid for. So when you introduce someone in your community, doTERRA can compensate you as well. So it's a great way to get your health paid for. And then there are what we call builders or leaders in doTERRA. They are doing this full time, and they are making an impact not only in their community, but literally going into these areas where these plants are grown and making an impact in those lives, that most of them are in poverty. So that's a really great thing that I hope to one day go on a co-impact sourcing trip. But what you can expect from me is when you get a group of oils or a kit, and you get your wholesale account, you're going to get a welcome packet from me. You get a personal consultation. But what we've been doing lately, and it's been working out a lot, is we're putting you immediately into an oil camp. Oil camp is super easy. It's a 10-day online program that you just get a text or an email, you click on it, and you have about 10 to 15 minutes of little nuggets of education. And the reason why I love this so much is because I probably fire hosed you a lot with a lot of things. And when you get off tonight, you might say, well, I forget. So once you get the oils in front of you, it's kind of like the lab part. That's what I think of it as, like the interactive part. So you got all your oils. Now you're going to be logging in and doing a 10 to 15-minute commitment. And it can be in the morning, it can be in the evening, whenever. You go through that, I get to learn what you need. And that's when I send you your welcome packet, as well as we meet and we have a much more, uh, a better conversation, because now you've been using the oils and we know what your questions are. And then you're always available to all the different community and giveaways and the ongoing support that not only myself, but all the leaders on my team that are providing. So I think, yep. So that's the end of the class. I appreciate all of you listening in. I am going to stop the recording now so that we can take any questions from those that are on live. So I'm going to